not everybody knows we have the oldest rose garden in the United States, and we have a 1600s house with some additions to it. And just to spread the word, it's very peaceful here, and it's a real pleasurable spot to come and visit, and it's a treasure for Philadelphia, and we need more people to know about what a special place Wyck Historic House is.
My name is Evelyn Lofton Malachi. I live in the Germantown area. One day last spring, I received a phone call from a friend that asking me if I would like to come to a historical garden and volunteer. Since I was retired and had plenty of time, I said sure. Little did I know that I was going to end up here at the Wyck Farm Club, and it was an amazing surprise. I'd visited Wyck previously just as a visitor, but never thought that I would be in the position to be volunteering at the farm club. It was wonderfully socially acceptable, but also an oasis right in the area which I lived. During my experience here at the Wyck, I've had the opportunity to go throughout the neighboring surrounding community and remind people and inform people of the opportunity that Wyck presents. It has not only the farm club, but it has a wonderful rose garden. It is a place where you can sit when it's open. You can sit and just meditate, just take in the sights. It's a wonderful environment and meet new people.
One of the things that I like about Wyck, and it probably runs in two tracks, it's a reason why I volunteer here, but it's also a reason why I think Wyck is a historic site that's worth saving, worth visiting, worth preserving for future generations, is that Wyck operates on a number of different levels. You can go to other historic sites that are just an old house. Well, we got old houses out the wazoo in Philadelphia. Wyck is that old house that really tells the story of a family. It's a house that I think all of us could identify with. But then it's more than just a house, and other historic sites don't have more than just a house. Wyck's got the rose garden that it's famous for. Oldest rose garden in the United States in its original plan, as we say on the tour. And it's beautiful, and it's been recently restored. We just put in, I had nothing to do with it, but just put in a whole bunch of boxwoods that recaptured the original plan and the outline of it. It looks gorgeous. So Wyck's got the house, it's got the rose garden. But wait, there's more, also without sounding too corny. It's got the farm aspect of it. So there's a huge vegetable farm that we run the Home Farm Club with and the Foodways program. Not all sites have a farm on site, and the various outbuildings. And then something I knew nothing about until I moved to Philadelphia, this whole notion of Quaker tradition and the Quaker values. So I've come to learn and appreciate a little bit about that whole aspect of how people led their lives. And that's something that pervades the history of Wyck. And I'm not sure if all historic sites in Philadelphia offer that.
I had decided that I really wanted to be engaged in the living history of the city of Philadelphia, being this World Heritage City and historic Germantown having this rich history as what I say the birthplace of American freedom in action with the first written protests against the enslavement of indigenous and African American peoples. It felt like this place resonated with some of the core things that I was about and that my family was about. So seeing a place like Wyck that still had the rose garden, that still had the farm moving in a way that was still engaging the community, seemed like a good fit. And really, once I moved back in 2016, was able to feed my own family from the farm, and have see my daughter run through the aisles, not the aisle, but the rows, the farm rows, and really have her first experiences with food. She's 2 and some change, and the Wyck House Farm is the farm that she knows. It's the farm for her.
One of the things that just keeps popping up are the opportunities for involvement and volunteerism here. I'm lucky enough to have, as the culinary historian, to have access to 15 or 20 receipt books. Family passed those down, mother to daughter to men as well in the family. So just having those resources here, the recipes for cookies and macaroons and quarterly meeting pie, and it's just on and on and on. So that's not even the challenge, that's the joy here, is dealing daily with resource material that belongs in the house.
I've really taken an interest in Wyck as a building, as a property, and a beautiful historic site for Philadelphia.
I just like to say that no matter how old or how young that anyone is, that this is a place where you can feel comfortable coming and finding some place, something that would be inviting, and find your niche. There's always work to be done, and as I said, it's an historical environment, historical house. There's lots of things that could definitely use your expertise and just come in, and you could work, but you also don't have to. You can just come in and enjoy the solace and enjoy the opportunity to take a deep breath and relax.
And the farm and the gardens is a place of peace for me. As a place to escape, I have those memories. I have the memories of bringing my daughter here from a toddler, from like 6 months or so, and just talking to her about the plants, and her smelling the flowers, and her being in the sun, you know, seeing other families and meeting other families here, meeting the community here, understanding that what I was experiencing is just an extension of what has always happened in this space.
It feels very alive. It feels alive with relatives. It feels alive with volunteers and friends and gardeners and horticulturists and children. It's a very, very cool place, but it's a very active, living house and home still.
So when I look at Wyck and wonder, well, gee, why should this place exist for the future? There's a multitude of reasons on different levels that would appeal to different people. The historic house, and I didn't even mention all of the, what do you call it, like the furnishings and all of the various artifacts that the family has saved over the generations. So you have that, but then you've got the rose garden, then you have the actual garden, then you've got the outbuildings, then you've got this whole Quaker tradition that falls behind that. So that sets Wyck apart, I think, and makes a good case for why we should always take care to preserve what's here.